When God created man in the Garden of Eden, he made man in his own image. And when he created man in his own image and likeness, he embedded himself, his God likeness, into man. Notice the Bible did not record that man failed. It only recorded that man fell. So that's the case here. You cannot fail, you can only fall. And the case of you falling is that you have two choices to make, because God has already given man the will of choice to either get back up or you remain there. Now let's take this as an instance. You are a student, you get an F in a course or a subject. The teacher is already like, oh, you failed, you didn't get it right, and all those stuff. Now you actually should know in your mind, in your heart, that you cannot fail. That result of an F is just a case that you have to learn. You have to do what? Learn up. Because the basic thing that happened to man from the case of the scripture was that man fell off the knowing level that God has set for man. God set man to take dominion. For you to actually take dominion, you have to get a very large level of knowledge. And so that was what man fell for. But in this case, the only thing that now brings that defect is that we have to do what? Learn up. So when things happen and then people tell you you failed, that's a total big lie from the pit of hell. You did not fail. You actually had an opportunity to learn up. And you can learn either forward or backward. And the case of you learning backward is a case where you refuse to get any better, but you only got worse. And the case of you learning forward is where you accept to learn to get better. And so whether you've done a business before, it seems as though it crashed down, you were in school and you're not getting good grades, or any single thing is happening around you, you should know that all those things happening is a case for you to learn. And I would really advise that you learn forward to get better. And when you do that, you find yourself getting into a God-like state. That is why Jesus Christ set it for us that we should always have that fellowship. And the scripture says that we should not despise the fellowship of brethren. We should always continue with that fellowship. And that was why God always kept coming, even in the garden, to meet with man. Why was he doing that? To embed his likeness into man. He made, notice the scripture said he made man in his image and likeness. On the case of likeness was for the fellowship. I'm not actually going to be discussing that deeply today. But that case is that as a child of God, if you keep coming to God, you keep having that fellowship with him, you tend to start growing. Now, take a look at it. Those things that you kept on doing and doing, you went on and on again on that same practice. You find out that as time goes, you begin to get better in it. That is because you've started growing to the godlike status of it. And before you know what's happening, you say, oh, he's a pro or he's a master in it. Why? He kept on going through the process. So do not receive or accept the case of failure, because everything we need for life has been given to us as children of God. We cannot fail. We only have the instance of learning. So you should know that today. Do not give anybody the chance of telling that you failed. You should always tell them, I just learned. So thank you so much for watching this video, and God bless you. And I would like it that you share it with someone who really need this, even at this point.